Right, we're live, boys. Hello, everyone. This is Sunny TV Unfiltered. Got some good guests with me tonight. Got Diesel. How you doing, mate?
Again, boy, you all right? Right, Till?
Yeah, not bad, mate. We've got the Kid. How you doing, mate?
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
We've got the African Gooner.
Good evening.
And we've got Sam the Man. How you doing, man?
Yeah, good. Good afternoon from Vancouver, everyone.
What's the weather like out there, man?
It's not so bad. It's just been rainy and miserable and grey. It kind of like it fits in with the football.
Just like England.
Miserable and grey.
As you can see, everyone, Sonny ain't with us tonight. He can't make it tonight, but hopefully he'll be popping in and out over the next couple of weeks once he's sorting himself out. But everyone in the comments, please hit the like button, and let's get straight onto it then. So
yeah, don't forget to share with your people. Get the more traction we get, it helps grow the channel, guys. Come on, help us out here.
Exactly. Well, let's get straight into it then. Coming in, he's good evening. He's still here. He's still not been sacked. After that,
do we expect him to
on Saturday? You know what I mean? I just can't understand why Emery is still our manager. What's your thoughts on it, Diesel?
Listen, I've tweeted it a few times now. It's no longer Emery for me. It's the board. Listen. I tweeted the other day that no matter what they do, they could go out tomorrow and buy Messi and Ronaldo. For me, they're the ones who need to be out. I think this whole thing is bigger than Emery now. Look, I've wanted him gone a long while, right? Yeah. The job is too big for him. I don't agree with people slagging him off. I think he's an okay manager, right? But he's just not for us. The job is too big for him. He needs to go. And Terry, you said something, and I totally agree with you. I actually genuinely think he's trying to get himself sacked. I do. I really do now, right? He wants to go. You can tell, right? He's the shadow of the man he was last year with regards to barking at orders on the bench and stuff and being animated, something that we used to slag off finger because he never was, right? Emery is not the same man as he was last year, but like I say, and I know a lot of you boys will probably disagree, I've said it before on this podcast, it's not all Emery, it's bigger. There is a mentality problem at this club, right? It was here long before he arrived, right? The players are not playing for him. I've always said, I don't think they're good enough. I genuinely don't, right? They don't work, they don't graft. Vardy's almost 35 and I see him pressing like an animal, right? Aubameyang is probably as fast, if not faster, strolling. They all stroll. They lose the ball. It's what they do off the ball. They don't work, right? And this is systematic. This is going on long before Emery. Emery's got to go, no matter what. I agree with that. Yeah. If you boys think a manager comes in tomorrow and all of a sudden these players find their feet, you're mistaken. They're not good enough. That's my view, anyway.
This is what my rebuttal to what you just said is. I honestly believe the players are good enough, and I feel like if you drill players into their mind constantly that your opponent is a tough opponent, your opponent plays like this, your opponent does this, and in training all you hear is how Danny Ings is on form and he scored 4 goals constantly. All you hear about is how these players are at this level. Then you play down to those players' level. You don't raise your level because constantly if they're hearing, oh, you should be fearful of this, you should be fearful of that. When they go into the game, the manager has prepared them to be fearful. They're almost being set up for failure because he's changing up the position so many times, going from a 3 to a 4 to a 3, confusing them. They don't know what position they're playing. He has guys playing wing back, changing them to left back, changing them to defend a central defender in Tierney within one game, let alone what he does with Torreira. You can see systematical errors from the manager. That's just 2 parts. The third part is when the goalkeeper is getting the ball, he doesn't know if he should go long or go short because the guy keeps telling him go long one time, next time he's telling him go short, and then it's a systematical errors from numerous areas, and it has to come down to the manager. I get that, but if this board cannot see that the manager is in the wrong and these performances are not good enough, there is the problem upstairs.
Yeah, so the Kid, for me, in terms of a rebuttal to your rebuttal, I agree with Diesel. I think we are giving the players a pass. I mean, I'm sorry, if you're making it to this level of football, you're a professional football. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter what tactics that you're playing. These guys are training every every day or every other day in training, regardless if you're playing a back three, regardless if the coach tells you to play long or play short. Bernd Leno should have that understanding himself as a professional goalkeeper that, it's not working. I need to do this. I need to stop playing it to Socrates when he's playing as a left center back because he's not left-footed and I'm putting him in danger, thus putting the team under pressure. I mean, these are just common sense. And Diesel, you make a good point saying that, this is a mentality. And for me, I mean, I was young, obviously. So when Ian Wright played, I wasn't, as educated as I am now about Arsenal. But I think under Wenger, it was definitely the same mentality. You mentioned a good point about Aubameyang walking, and we make a lot of excuses for him. And I think it's because we've just become so accustomed to lazy players. And that goes with Ozil as well. These players are not held accountable by, if the manager isn't being held accountable by the board, then how can the players be held accountable by the manager? It's a hierarchy of systems. So we've had that problem for a very long time, and it's just, the Danny Ings scoring against Arsenal. Are we all surprised? Why is it always that these players always end up scoring against Arsenal? It's because we have a weak mentality, and these players know that they can get at us. They know that they can attack us, and eventually we're going to make one mistake. And once, once they score, it's basically the fans turn on the team and the whole mentality just crashes. And it's over time.
They're always up for it against us. No one's scared to come to Emery.
Do you know what? Do you know what, lads, right? Sorry. I've just got to say this one. I'm so sorry, right? I honestly think, right, when someone said, oh, you either lose 6 million now and pay him off or whatever it is, or you lose 45 million, right? I look at it now. Yeah. The fact he's still here, right? I think... Look at Marco Silva at Everton, right? He'll be going very, very soon, right? And Everton will act, right? Us, we've got a board who treat Arsenal like a toy, right? These are multi-billionaires. 45 million to them is like a couple of quid, right? To us guys here. They don't care. It's just simple. They don't care. And that's where I think it is now. They don't care. Fans can say, I'm not going to the next game, right? They have your money.
Yeah.
Whether you go or not, it doesn't matter. They have your money.
Look, we've got a board. We've got a board at the moment that's not making the decisions that they're supposed to make. And I agree with what you said earlier on, Diesel. The problem is a lot bigger now than Emery. Like a fish rots from their head down. And at the head of our fish, right, if you think that's the boardroom's split at the minute. You've got on one side of it, you've got the Raut, Cinieri, and the Edu and the Vinay camp. And on the other side, you've got like the Chip Keswicks and the Lord Harrises of Peckham, and they all want to both go in different directions. And why these two sides are at loggerheads, the decisions that need to be made are not going to be made because they can't agree. I mean, I don't know if you've been reading all the reports on Twitter. You got one side saying it's Mikel Arteta's in the frame. Yeah. You got other sides of the reports are coming out and saying no, it's not Mikel Arteta, it's somebody else. So until the board can get on the same page, I'm worried that the decision that needs to be made ain't going to get made. And if teams like West Ham and Everton, if they follow suit of what Tottenham done and they pull the trigger on their managers, the longer we dawdle about this decision, the longer we're not going to get the man that we probably should get. We'll probably end up getting we'll end up getting whoever's left.
Listen, this comment here by Terry D. The actual reason could be Arsenal can't afford to sack Emery. I don't think it's the fact that we can't afford to sack him. I just think, how long's the Kroenke's been there now? 10 years, is it?
When you sack someone, you don't just give them a lump sum and say on your way. As I understand it, David Moyes has only just stopped getting paid for Man United. They continue to pay your wages each month or however you get it until the time's paid up. So it's not a case of them having to all of a sudden find 10 million and give it to him. They could get rid of him, continue to pay his salary each month, and then go out and get someone else. So I don't believe it's not about the money.
The thing is with that, Stan, in my point of view, is that as I was just trying to say, in 10 years they haven't put a penny into our club whatsoever. Not one penny have they put into our club. So why now are they going to put 15 or 16 million in to get rid of Emery and to get rid of the backroom staff when they haven't bought any players or put any penny in at this precise minute? Why are they going to do that? I can't see them doing it.
So if we're a big club, Stan, this shouldn't be something we're discussing about. I mean, come on, guys, 6 million. These guys are billionaires. I mean, his wife owns Walmart. Like, this is not like it's chump change for them. 6 million is nothing. And as a business and as a CEO, or a board of such a big club, this is a strategic decision that needs to be taken, because 6 million hit now is going to end up turning into a more than 6 million hit when we don't qualify for Champions League at the end of the season. And in terms of our transfer dealings in the summer, we're not going to be able to attract any players. I mean, 4 years out of the Europa League, it's not going to be like Aubameyang or Lacazette, who thought we might have a chance after a year to get into Europa League. Now I think we're getting into the mid-table, into the Wolves area, or Leicester area, where it's, maybe we'll make it to the Champions League. But we are a Europa League team. I mean, we have to be real.
On the grand scheme of things,
say that at the moment,
Terry, on the grand scheme of things, what is the equivalent of 6 million when it comes to a footballer that you'd purchase in today's market? El Neni costs more than 6 million in today's market. So let's be realistic here. 6 million, if we were purchasing a player in January and we only spent 6 million on a player, we would be laughing at it. In realistic terms, 6 million to the club is nothing. And Sir Chip Keswick, whatever his friggin' name is, if you think Emery should be sacked, and you are willing to say, I'm going to resign if Emery's not sacked, and the club are not acting and Emery's not sacked in the morning, the chairman has asked for him to be sacked, and he's still not sacked. What is going on in the club? It is systematically a failure. The whole backroom staff has not been changed properly. Who is in charge? We don't know who's in charge. Eddie was not in charge.
But the way that it works at Arsenal, as I understand it, is that the board that we have, the Chip Keswicks, the Lord Harrises of Peckham, they actually don't have any voting shares. Kroenke's now own the shares 100%. The buck stops at Stan Kroenke. These old style people that are still on the board. That's kind of like symbolic. That's like a symbolic gesture. They probably still get some sort of a dividend, but they've actually sold their shares out. So if they want to quit, they're actually quitting a job that they don't actually get paid from, and they don't have any voting rights, and they're probably quitting because they want to make suggestions, because they probably feel that they've got the club's best interest at heart, which is why they wanted to bring in someone like David O'Leary. But they feel that they're just getting stonewalled now by Raul, Edu, and this new mob.
Josh,
there's friction.
What Bruno Martin has just put on this comment here is brilliant. Arsenal are the only fans that discuss the club finances that shows how wrong we are being run. We're the only fans in the world that worry about money. And I don't understand it.
Penny pinchers. That's why it's historical again. I mean, we're always trying to bargain for money, always trying to get cheap deals. I mean, that's what Arsenal is renowned for. So in terms of finances, that's why it's always regarding Arsenal, is because we're known for that.
Guys, we only look at our own fan base. We don't really care about Man United. They can talk all they want about money. They spend so much money, they still talk about it.
But they don't.
All these clubs talk about money, but we only care about Arsenal. So realistically, we only see what we care about. At the end of the day, they talk shit between their own fans.
The kid. When it comes to buying players and things like that, they don't. None of their fans talk about how much money it's going to cost them to get that player. They don't care how much money it's going to cost. They want the player. But what we do as Arsenal supporters first is we look at how much this player is going to be first before we mention their name now.
Harry, Man United fans were upset that they didn't spend. They spent almost more than us, and they bought 3 players, and they were still upset about their window, saying we need to spend more money. So when it comes to realistic terms, everyone look at your own house and worry about your own house. As Arsenal fans, in our own house, we see our own problems. We don't see other people's problems.
That's my point.
The question answer this question from Ozzy Guna. It says, question for all the boys: what changes would you like to see in January?
Very simple.
Well, there is one very simple one. Yeah, go on, kid.
Everyone is going to say the manager, right? Obviously. So I want all of us to say something besides the manager. I want to start with, what would we actually bring in to the club? I feel like the one thing that needs to be brought into the club is a direct plan of recruiting, because the recruiting has not been good enough. Get better. Show us that you guys are doing the right decisions and recruiting the top players in the world before they get to that level. You guys go.
For me, it would be, obviously the manager needs to change. I'm not surprised that he's not gone yet, and I think he will be here until December. But a question that I've been asking myself as an international Arsenal fan from South Africa is, what can I do and what is in my power to affect change? And for me, that is not buying merchandise, putting on social media or putting on my channel or coming on other podcasts and voicing out my opinion. And 3, I saw a tweet about, I think, Josh Kroenke's business and his phone number and email address was there. I think international Arsenal fans should be flooding that with emails saying that we want Emery out. I mean, it might not work, but I think putting pressure, which is the same as when, you know, the planes flew over saying Wenger out and things like that. I mean, that's the only things that we can do as fans, right? I mean, all the way from South Africa, what can I do apart from that? Well, not buying merchandise.
To follow on to that, at the game on Saturday was the first time I heard Emery out inside the stadium this weekend. It's the first time I heard it actually in the stadium from fans. And so it is filtering down now into the stadium.
Yeah. And the kid, in terms of, sorry, I was just going to say in terms of recruitment, we all know that our recruitment is actually, it's improved, but it's not good. I mean, we had, you know, the diamond that we called from Dortmund, and he left. I mean, recruitment's not going to change Arsenal because the board don't want to invest money. So we know that's never going to change. So we need to be looking at things that we can actually change and not just talk, because a lot of Arsenal fans love to talk and we love to say, oh, we want this to happen, want that to happen, but we don't want to take action, and we need to take action.
Okay, so your solution is to email.
The kid,
my solution is to stop buying merchandise and perhaps find a way through social media to get the message to Josh Kroenke, because he's the one, in my opinion, who has the final decision of getting rid of Emery. I don't think that it's Raul. I think it's coming down from Josh. If Josh tells Raul he needs to fire Emery, Raul cannot question him. He's the owner. He's the CEO of Arsenal, right?
Dan, what were you going to say?
To go even further than that, I'd like to. I'm in Vancouver, so there's not a lot that I can do to affect anything. But what I would like to see is that those people that have season tickets, I'd like to see them, if they really do believe that change needs to come as sooner rather than later, I'd like to see them staying away from games. I want to see more empty seats, because at the end of the day, once it starts affecting Stan Kroenke's wallet, he will do something about it, because he's a businessman, right? And it's all about the pounds, shillings, and pence.
Yeah. Stan, what do you think could change? Like, if one thing could change besides fans, like improve a way to improve, what would you improve by January if you could?
Better recruitment.
You agree?
I'm talking about the quality of players that we're bringing in. I mean, we really need to have a real solid defender. We don't need a young up-and-coming defender. We've got one of those coming next year. We don't need a defender that's in the twilight of his career, because we've already got a couple of them. We need a good, solid, you know, a good sort of like someone who's around sort of like somewhere between the ages of like 25 and 27 years old, who's already established to come in and take command of that back four. And hopefully he'll be being coached by a better manager as well.
Stan, do you think...
I definitely agree with you there, mate.
Do you guys support someone who's going to come to us? I mean, you guys are saying better recruitment, but obviously they know that, right? The board knows that there needs to be better recruitment. Hence, we got Martinelli. Hence, we got Guendouzi. Those are really good recruitments that we got at young age. They're young talents that are upcoming, and we got them. But, splashing big money. I mean, we only got Pepe. We all know we only got Pepe because of the installments. What defender that is world-class can we go out in January and sign that is willing to come to our mess? I don't see it happening.
Well, the one that I can think of is, and he might not be world class, but he does have a sturdy reputation, is that Upamecano, because he's not.
Buy him. I'm not going to spend money.
They want him to re-sign a contract so that they can adjust the buyout clause. And if he doesn't sign that contract and he's saying that he doesn't want to, he wants to come and play over in the Premiership, we could get him for about 40 million. If that happens, that would be a really good bargain. If we take advantage of that, we could afford 40 million. And again, we probably wouldn't pay it all in one go anyway.
Let me say something.
Not just address it.
Clubs like PSG, Juventus, what they do is they get these players on cheaper contracts than the teams in the Premier League. For example, PSG, they got Diallo from Dortmund for around 30 million. He would have walked right into our starting 11. And we would have easily got him for 30 million, but instead we missed the boat. He went to PSG straight after going to Dortmund. Like, that is what I mean is good recruitment. We don't have to spend 70, 80 million.
We've missed the boat with load of players, so it doesn't matter what player you're talking about. Let me just address this from big locks. He's put, Terry, do you think these players need to take as much blame as the manager? I feel like they're getting away with it. Well, I was having a little bit of a talk with Diesel and the kid just before we went live. And my view is, it's really getting on my nerves on Twitter that everyone keeps blaming the players. Yes, the players that don't want to play for the manager. I totally agree with that. I wouldn't want to play for him at the moment either with what he's doing. But at the end of the day, he ultimately is the manager. And if a player is not pulling his weight or not doing as what he's been told, he's got the power to tell this player or the players that they're not playing, leave them on the bench, and then play the youth players. Because that's what I would do if I was a manager. If a player wasn't playing for me, I would say, look, you're not playing, you've got to play. He's done it with Ozil, and he's done it with a couple of other players. So why won't he do it with Aubameyang, Lacazette, or whoever the other players are? He ultimately is the manager. So in my eyes, if the players ain't playing for him, then he should stand up and be counted and tell these players that, no, you're not playing. I'd rather play a youth team player.
So Terry, where is the self-pride that, you know, as a professional football player that you used to have? I mean, Sanchez, regardless of if we were playing well or not, he used to put 110%, regardless of if he agreed with Wenger's tactics. He had self-pride that he would want to score and want to do well for Arsenal, for whether it was for the Arsenal fans or just because his pride as a football player that, you know, he's one of the best in the world, and so he wouldn't accept giving up or not playing at a certain level. Where is that gone with the rest of the Arsenal players? I mean, we're just letting them off the hook. They should be playing for some pride at least. If not for the fans, play for yourself. You know, it's humiliating. It's
true though. Listen, right? If I look at them players, right, and I look at it as in our jobs, our walk of life, right? I've worked under managers I can't stand.
Yeah.
Right. But if I don't put a shift in, I'm out.
Exactly.
You know. So why is it any different with these players, right? Whether they like Emery or not. Right, I don't care about that. When they walk out and cross that white line and they see 60,000 people, right, young kids who have saved up, right, their pocket money just to have their surname on the back of their shirt, that should be enough to think, whether they like Emery or not, right, the least you can do, the least is put a shift in, put 100% in. If we still lose, as fans, we can say, do you know what, it just wasn't our day today, right, but we all put a shift in. We can see that. Right? When we're not even doing that, then I'm sorry, it's not just Emery. I look at the players. They're too comfortable. It's too nice at Arsenal. It's too nice.
Diesel, I hear what you're saying, but I think we could be looking at it wrong. I don't think it's a case that the players are going out on the pitch and they're just like, fuck this, I can't be bothered. I think that these players are at a stage now, and there's a lot of young heads in this team. They're at a stage now where before they go out for kickoff, they're already shitting themselves. Right?
Last week.
Yeah, I know exactly.
This is the Sunday League. This is apparently the best league in the world.
I hear you, right? But they go out there, right, in a different formation from the one that they played last week. They try and implement what the manager wants. It doesn't work. Before you know where we are, we're a goal down, and then it's like the players, as the game goes on, you can see it. It's like they're getting the stuffing kicked out of them as the minutes go on and their heads drop. The last 10 to 15 minutes of that last game, they didn't look like they couldn't be bothered. They looked like they just wanted to go home.
I feel like they're being restricted. They're being shackled.
No, but that's a
they're not enjoying their job. They're not enjoying their job. They're waking up in the morning, right? They're not waking up in the morning thinking, I can't wait to get into training and see the lads. They're waking up in the morning and thinking, oh, fucking hell, here we go again.
Well, I mean,
open.
When you look at the Arsenal Twitter, you used to, at the beginning of the season, you used to see Lacazette, Aubameyang, Ozil, all in training, all laughing, all mucking about. When was the last time you see a video like that?
Long time. And the thing that I feel like is the most damning is you see Lacazette score the equalizer to get us ahead, and everybody in the fan base is just looking like, I kind of don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm happy or upset. I'm not excited. That didn't get me excited. Even though we drew the game, everyone should be roaring in the stadium. But the stadium looked around like, did we even score? Like, what happened? Like,
we've all had that job, you know, where you wake up in the morning and you hate that job and you think, I've got to start looking in the paper for something else. I'm sick of this place. And you wake up and you try and con yourself that you might have a stomachache or a reason not to go in. That's what I think a lot of these players are. They're not enjoying it.
Yeah, but Stan, we still go in. We still work. Yeah, we've had crap. I'm sure I can only for me. I'm sure you boys, right? We've all had jobs, right? We don't like. We can't stand. We hate the manager. We hate our colleagues, or whatever. You know what? If we don't get out of bed and put a shift in, we're out of the job.
Boys,
how are you gonna?
These are millionaire players.
And
Boys,
another way, you saw Lacazette's second goal. When he scored that second goal to bring us level, look at his reaction.
That's what I meant.
He's doing his job. The ball fell to him. He kicked his leg out. He scored a goal. He's doing his job, but he's not happy. There was no joy.
That's fine. What about the other 10?
Yeah.
Why is it every podcast we always say
it.
Lacazette puts a shift in? What about it's a team? We're not Man City. We can't have 2 or 3 stragglers, right? If none of them are on point, or 1 or 2 of them aren't, we fold, right? We go a goal. It's the mentality. It's bigger than Emery. These players, it's Thierry Henry, a legend, come out and said it. Everything at Arsenal is nice, comfortable.
That's Wenger.
Come on.
Wenger, that's Wenger.
It's fresh as they sit there, you know. It's like they go.
Wenger was the cause of it. Yeah, I get that. Wenger was
Sonny in the ass, boys. We've got Sonny in the ass.
Yo, guys,
Over.
we miss you, Sonny. Look, let me tell you something.
All right,
Do you honestly think? I get you guys are saying the players. I get the argument where you're saying not the players. But my whole thing is the system is restricting them to the point we had. This is the complete opposite from Wenger. Wenger would go out there, give them the freedom, not even mention the opponent. Now we have a guy who only mentions the opponent in training and doesn't give them the freedom. He says, "I want a structured attack and the freedom to defend." What structure?
I mean, listen, the kid at a certain point. I mean, we've all played football at any level, and even at the bottom of the food chain. If you're playing football and you have a coach, right, and the coach is telling you to play a certain way, and you see as a player and as a team that it's not working, at a certain point you're gonna throw that out of the window and start doing what you do normally because you don't enjoy losing. You don't enjoy drawing against a team in the 19th. Place in the Premier League, a team that lost 9-0 at home to Leicester. I mean, these are, as a professional, these are things that are common sense, right? You throw everything out the window and you just go all for it. Leno, stop kicking it, stop passing it from the back, going forward. And I think Guendouzi does this really well. You see him, he just, at the end of the game when we're losing or it's a draw, he drives and he goes for it. And that's how he got that penalty a few games ago when we drew. I mean, I see that's the only player that really throws everything out the window for us. And
the kid. Let me ask you a question, right? If Emery, right, for example, Southampton, right, we're losing 2-1, yeah? If all the players, because I think Lacazette was the only one who throughout the game thought, you know what, sorry, Emery, I'm doing what I think he had to go at Leno or whatever, right? Now, for example, say all the players at 2-1 down thought, you know what, right? Said to each other, do you know what? Sod what he says, right? We'll do it how we see fit, right? And they actually drag that game back and they go in after having won the game. Do you honestly think Emery's right? Going to give him a bollocking? He can't drop all of them.
They did that against Aston Villa. Aston Villa was exactly what you said, and you can't tell me anything different. He cussed out Chambers. Chambers scored us the freaking goal, and he cussed him.
Yeah, but that's one player. That's one player. If the whole team, right, said to each other, sod what he says, this is how we're going to do it, right? For this second half. What's Emery going to do? Drop all of them? He can't.
He can't. Yeah, he can't.
Unity will bring down any organisation. Fact.
Yeah, boys, what do we think of this one then, right? Because I totally agree. I think I said this in the last podcast. I said we need to strap in, put our seatbelts on, because I don't think we're going to sack him. I really don't. All this rubbish that's coming out on Twitter, I really can't see Arsenal spending the money and sacking Emery until at least the new year. And he has said, be prepared for relegation because they ain't sacking him. I totally agree.
Harry, if that happens, there's no way that if we're in a relegation battle that the fan base is going to get worse than it was when we had Wenger in his demise. And that the board doesn't take action. I don't see that happening because, I mean, we're going downhill at the moment. And if we reach to that point where we're in a relegation battle, whoa, it's going to be chaotic.
Listen, do you really see us going to, is it who we got on Saturday?
Norwich.
You're right.
Hold up. Do you think we're going to go to Norwich and get any points?
1 point.
Surely, eventually we have to get a win. Like this is ridiculous.
Why surely the kid? You said this last time when we were playing Southampton at home. You said, listen, you got to be confident because we're playing at home. We're playing Southampton, who's second from bottom, and we're going to annihilate them. Basically, you said.
Because now we're reaching historic lows. This is the decade since we've.
What's going to keep happening? This is going to keep happening. Why is our manager? I don't know how many more times I need to say it and keep saying it. I've been saying it from the beginning of this season.
Is that how he sets up?
That's just being optimistic.
Southampton. How's he going to set us up away at Norwich? It's going to be even more defensive.
Exactly.
Well, the thing with Arsenal is you never know which team is going to show up. So miraculously, we could win against Norwich, but then the game after that, it's back to normal. That's my point. But my point is, regardless, I think, guys, if we lose 2 more games on the bounce, like there's no way that nothing is going to change. There's no way that the board can't come up with a message. I mean, it's going to get worse, more toxic. AFTV is going to be more toxic. The fan base, Twitter, everything is going to get worse, and they're going to have no choice.
Do you really believe that they give a shit?
No, but we have to try because we give a shit, right? It hurts.
If they unite, right, they won't. Right, but if they did, and they stop buying the burgers, the hot dogs, right, going in the Arsenal shop and all that, they have to. They have to.
Emery is a dead man walking. I agree with you. Whoever commented there, you're right.
I said on the last podcast, Diesel, what the fans should do is that we've already paid our season ticket money, so they've had that, right? So what we should do, we should go to the games, the home games, and all stand outside, take our own drinks, our own food, like people do watch it on TV. And
do what Liverpool did. Do what Liverpool did. Liverpool, they all got up and left the stadium. They were up 3-0. Everybody left. The team ended up losing or drawing the game 3-3. What you got to understand is the club and the fans are not connected. The back room and the fans are not connected. And now it's starting to look like the players and the manager are not connected. The only way we're going to get connected is we need one strong charactered individual to come in as the manager and unite everybody.
Guys, I mean, Terry, that's a good idea. I mean, if we could somehow, I mean, we have little pulling power, right? If we could somehow get all the going fans to walk out of the stadium, right, at a certain minute, everyone walks out, and everyone who isn't in London or in England posts on Twitter, #we are not watching until something is done, or something like that, something that goes viral, where everyone is on the same page. Maybe it's Norwich, maybe it's the game after, but we all have to.
It's got to be a home game. It's got to be a home game.
Exactly. That's why I said if we all stand outside, it shows that we're still supporting our club and our team. And as soon as the goal goes in, we'll celebrate it. But we're not going to contribute any more to your pockets.
Yeah.
That's it. The simple need is that. Why should us as fans keep paying arid prices while you keep going to Poundland and buying players and keeping managers in that you won't? Exactly.
Sorry, you know, right? They make 3 million every home game. 3 million.
Yep.
And we have no money.
After the game, right, Arsenal tweeted out, and I was actually surprised. It was from official Arsenal, and it was a quote from Emery, and it just said, "I have a responsibility. I know I can do better." And then it said, "At Unite Emery speaks candidly after the game." And I thought, why would Arsenal tweet that? And obviously, I went into the comments, and I was reading the comments, and everyone was just going, "Get him out! I've had enough of this. Get him out." And I thought to myself, it's almost like Arsenal were tweeting that out to try and gauge the tolerance levels of the fans via the comments, because that was it. There was nothing else about the match. It was just from Arsenal and that one sentence from Emery, like they wanted to see what the reaction would be.
Yeah.
But I mean, on all the comments in the last months, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, it's all been Emery out. So they know already that the fan base is reached the boiling point. It's spilling over at the moment as we speak, and it's continuously going to spill over until we have a really good performance, because we all know, we watch the games, we haven't had one good performance this whole season apart from that one game in the Europa League where the kids played. So they know for sure that the fans are not happy. It's just, are they willing to do something? Because are they not happy with what they're seeing, or are they satisfied with just putting the money carrying on?
Arsenal pumps so much money. That's it. That is.
But
That's
guys,
it.
if you don't make Champions League, they're not pumping that money. So like they have, you know what I mean? It's gonna be affecting them this season.
Yeah,
So
they have to care. They have to care.
They
Why?
won't take
Why do they have to care? Why? Tell me
It's
why they
money.
have to care.
They're not gonna put the money in their pockets, right? And as the club, we're moving backwards. So somehow they have to care a little bit. Maybe not as much as the fans, but as a business owner, you have to be seeing that this is not going the right way, and that clearly funds are going to be diminishing.
If that's the case, right? Look at Man United, yeah, right. Man United, look how low they've sunk, right? And yet, all you read about is they've made pre-tax profits of God knows how many millions. Their sponsorship deals are double than what they were the year before. It doesn't matter. Arsenal is so big worldwide. Forget this country, right? They pump money. It is a money-making machine. They make 3 million a game. I heard a rumor, right, that the only reason why they this is only a rumor, why they've not got rid of Emery yet is because they don't want to pay the 6 million. Now you look back at the Suarez deal, 40 million and a quid. Yeah. All them little things that just have made us a joke over the last 5-10 years.
And this season is
that shock you, wouldn't me?
So did you guys see the We Care Do You put out a statement? And if so, what were your thoughts on that?
I thought it was great timing. But really, we should have had that. We should have had that at the beginning. Well, at the end of last season, after that Europa League final, in my eyes, because it was an absolute joke. I can't. Even from last season, when we was in that 22-game unbeaten run, I can't see what the manager was trying to do. The way we was trying to play, we was just scraping through them games. We were just lucky not to lose or to draw the games. Really, there was not one game that stood out. Really, let's be honest. He's been here for 18 months now, and he's, in my eyes, he's done absolutely nothing. And we are going completely backwards now. Completely backwards. Why on earth, in any job, would he still be manager? He wouldn't.
And it's vital. It's vital where we are now. It's vital that we have a manager or a coaching team that can improve players, because we've got so many of these young kids now with such potential. They need to be coached and improved, not regression. Not regression.
I was about to come on to that, Stan. Just quickly, we've got 112 watchers. Hit that like button, please. That's the only way we're going to keep this channel going. So subscribe and hit the like button and share, please. Right, from the panel. I want to go through every one of you. I want you to tell me who you want to be next manager and give a little reason why you think he should be the manager. Diesel.
Right. I wanted Mourinho. I'm not going to lie. I wanted him, but obviously that's too late now. My dream manager is Diego Simeone. And I always used to say, but we can't get him, so then you have to drop it here, right? Now I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, no. I'm not having this Arsenal board make me less ambitious or whatever, or change my way of thinking, right? This is apparently the best league in the world, apparently, right? It's all about money. Drop the money. Simeone can be got, in my opinion, right? But it's going to cost. We need a man who's going to come in and ruffle some feathers at this club, shake it up and down. And for me, out of all the other managers who are, obviously Guardiola, can't get in, Klopp, no. Simeone's the one for me who Arsenal are crying out for. So, yeah, he's my pick. Whatever it costs, pay it.
Everyone in the comments, let us know and all.
Yeah.
On the kid.
I'm torn. I feel like the next manager that comes in, for me, the criteria is they have to be young, they have to be ambitious and forward-thinking. They have to play good football. We have to see that they've done and they have a resume. So I'm going for Ten Hag, and I honestly believe he probably wouldn't even come to us. But if I could pick one manager that I feel like could do what we need him to do at Arsenal, I'll pick Ten Hag, because he's been with the Ajax club where they're restricted budgets and he's performed above the level that they needed to. He's been to Europa League final. He's been to a semi-final of the Champions League. He's won numerous titles in the Dutch league. And I feel like their playing style and the development of youth that he's done would be ideal for the squad that he have, because he's not a manager who just comes in and deals with a team that's already finished. He helps build a team from scratch.
Okay. African Gooner?
Yes, Diesel, great minds think alike. I also, yeah, man, I wanted Jose Mourinho. And if it wasn't Jose Mourinho, I wanted Luis Enrique. Both of those are gone already. And sorry, but Arteta's not the guy. I don't understand why people keep saying Arteta. I mean, this guy is, Lee Gunner mentioned it, that he's basically Guardiola's bitch. Like, I have no confidence in him that he's done it. I'm sorry. But like,
Terry's going to go on the run any minute now.
he's just working for him, basically, and following orders. I don't.
What's that? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. Honestly,
Matt.
I take Arteta over Emery right now. But if, as Diesel said, if we are the big club that we say we are, we have the pulling power of the Premier League. It has to be Simeone.
Yeah, make a statement. Make a statement.
Yeah, we've got to make a statement. Defensively, we're appalling, and this has been like 10 years that we've been appalling. So you know what? I forget about the attacking football. I'd rather just win 1-0 or 2-0 or play counter-attacking football with Simeone, who's going to put these guys into place. He's going to send Ozil to the MLS where he belongs, and he's going to get Arsenal back to winning ways, because that's all we want. That's all we want right now, is to feel good and love our club again, because right now we don't love our club because it's hurting us.
Stan?
Well, I'm the opposite to Diesel and Indian Gooner. I didn't want Mourinho anywhere near Arsenal at all, man. That would have just ended with the club ended up in rubble, a pile of rubble after 3 years. But if I could bring one person into Arsenal as the manager, for me, it has to be Brendan Rodgers. When Wenger was on his way out, I said back then I'd like to see Brendan Rodgers get the job, and I got slaughtered for it. I thought he'd done a great job at Liverpool. He almost managed to crack it with Liverpool, and I thought he'd done a good job at Celtic as well. And if you can handle the Celtic fans, I've lived in Edinburgh. I know what they're like up there with their football. And if they didn't like him, they would have run him out of town, and they didn't. They loved him up there. And for the short space of time that he's been at Leicester, I think they play great football. He's had hardly any investment into that team. He's come in, he's put his arm around Jamie Vardy, he's got him scoring and firing again. And they lost Harry Maguire, who was probably one of their key players at the back, and you can't even notice it. So yeah, for me, it would be Brendan Rodgers, and he speaks good, plain, simple English. He'd be able to get his instructions across. So one of the reasons why I wouldn't want to go for a Simeone or Allegri is because that language barrier has really sort of like seems to be a problem. And why would we shouldn't shoot ourselves in the leg and go back down that road again. So yeah, for me, aka Brendan Rodgers.
True.
Right. Well, obviously,
yeah.
You all know who I'm going to say, didn't you?
Yeah.
Shaka. No, obviously, me personally, I'm very excited about Arteta. I would love to see him as our next manager. And the reasons why, for me, is he's young, he's enthusiastic, the players would respect him, he'll get the best out of our youth players, play attacking football like City does, fear no one, and would want to make a name for himself, obviously, just being his first managerial job. I think he'd be outstanding for us. And I think the worst thing that'll happen for us, and Arsenal fans will see, is that Pep is going at the end of this season. And it's all set up for Arteta to be their next manager. Now, if Man City want Arteta as their next manager, why the bloody hell can Arsenal fans not see that? Why would any Arsenal fan not want to have Arteta as their manager? I just can't. I can't see it.
I don't see Pep leaving. I don't see Pep leaving if they don't win the title this season. He definitely wants to at least leave on top.
Terry, I just want to know your foundations on Arteta. I mean, yeah, I think it might work out, but I think it's a very risky move, and we don't have the luxury for a risky move anymore. We've already taken that chance with Emery. We're like 5-10 years behind our so-called rivals. We don't have the chance to take Arteta in and then have this whole cycle keep happening over and over and over again. I think that the players really respect him. What has he achieved? Again, what has he achieved, right? We're assuming that because he's working with Pep Guardiola, we're assuming that if Pep Guardiola goes, Man City's going to hire him. I don't think Man City's going to hire him. I'm sorry. I don't see him taking that step up to being Man City coach right away. Definitely not my opinion.
I agree with you in the sense that Simeone is one of the top 3 best managers right now going in the world. No one disagrees with that. Brendan Rodgers is a top manager in the Premier League, and he's playing amazing with Leicester. But those 2 guys are in a better situation than Arsenal. What makes you think they're going to come to Arsenal?
Because it's Arsenal. Because it's Arsenal.
Simeone's not leaving Atletico Madrid for Arsenal. We're
If you pay the money, he'll come.
No, he will not.
He will come. I'm telling you now.
They just invested in a whole brand new team. I love Simeone. Don't get me wrong. He's an amazing manager. He's doing amazing in Spain. But there is no way the board backed him. They reinvested in a whole new team. And he's gonna leave. And then Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers, let's be honest, he might leave, but he won't leave in the middle of the season. He won't do it again. He's done it once.
If he said, "I'll come at the end," right, bring Freddie in, right, as an interim, right?
Yeah.
But if Brendan says not now at the end, which I would respect him for, actually, right? Then do you know what? Fair play, whatever it takes. Leicester, Arsenal.
After the whole Celtic ordeal, he would never do that again.
This comment by Archie is exactly right. There is no risk with Arteta. Either he becomes Tim Sherwood or he becomes Pep. He knows exactly that.
Too big of a gamble.
He knows about the badge. He knows what it means to be at Arsenal.
How does that make sense? There's no risk with Arteta. If he does become Tim Sherwood, oh my God, we're in trouble. That is a risk.
You can't take that gamble.
Listen. It doesn't. How do you know that Allegri's going to come in and do wonders? Look at Emery. Everyone said he was experienced. He won 3 Europa League on a trot.
So are you comparing Arteta with Allegri? Come on, man. You can't put those 2 together. It's like saying Ronaldo and Adama Traore or something like that. I mean, they're not the same class.
My biggest worry with Arteta, Terry, is that it's not so much that he might not. Yeah, he's been with Pep and he probably understands the playing style and the philosophy of the football, but we've never seen him manage people with big egos. You know, it's all right being good on the tactic side of it, but he has to manage these players, and it'll be his first go at it, and maybe some of the players will, you know, when he has to tell players some hard words, they might look at him and say, like, "Who the fuck are you?" And still look at him as someone that's recently been playing himself. He won't command that respect. Maybe
we need a bastard, we need a bastard.
But when you get City players tweeting about Arteta, saying how great he is, and he takes all the training sessions, and you've got Sterling that comes out and said he was a rough diamond before he went to City, and it's all down to Arteta, why he's this big player now and the way he's playing and everything. Surely you can see that there's got to be something in him. The man management alone will be so much better.
But tell
the reason why
look at the caliber he's working with over there.
The reason why
they were top players when they came into like Man City. You know, it's not like they got players like ours and he's turned them into world class. They were world class when they arrived.
Yeah. I see Arteta going to Everton before he'd come to Arsenal. I think that would be a much better fit.
Yeah.
Agreed, Stan. I think that's a good point.
I think he could go at Everton. I think he could go there.
Yeah, he could, because that's his standard. He's not Arsenal standard for me.
But also, I think I don't class Arteta is more of an Everton man than Arsenal. He's not really an Arsenal man, is he? He's more of an Everton. He's idolised up there. He's idolised, you know. But
just quickly, obviously, there's been a lot of tweets in the last sort of few hours that the favourite now is Nuno from Wolves. What's your feelings on that?
He's got a lovely beard. He's probably got the best beard in the Premiership.
He does. He really does. But
he has his team set up very structured and very good.
Why would he leave Wolves? They're in the Europa. They're doing better than us. He has confidence in the players. The players love him. I mean, why would he come to our mess? Like,
a little hypocritical when you just brought up Simeone. That's a better situation.
No, it doesn't matter. He's not in the Premier League, right? So we have a pulling factor that we're in the Premier League, and that attracts the best managers. But if you're already in the League and you're coaching Wolves, who's in the Europa League and is doing better than Arsenal, why would you want to come to Arsenal? That makes you understand?
You see, I mentioned this guy, right, from Wolves as like, coming in as an outsider. But if we were going to look at an outsider already working in the Premier League, I like the look of Chris Wilder. I like what he's doing at Sheffield United.
I agree with you, Stan.
But He's not sexy enough, is he? He's not sexy enough for Arsenal.
If he was foreign, mate, all day long.
They're not going to hire some northern geezer to be the Arsenal manager. I'd love him to come in, but it's just, do you know what I'm getting at? It just doesn't look like he's not sexy enough for Arsenal.
I like Sean Dyche. I think he's a good manager.
It's a snobby attitude.
I think he's a good manager.
Yeah. So I think you just said there, right? For me, they are in the same sort of playing football in the same way as Allegri and Mourinho and things like that. It'd just be boring football. It'd just be going back to the. I know a lot of people want that. It's the 1-0 Arsenal where you're defending for 90 minutes and then you get the 1 goal and you win and then you get the 3 points. To me, that's not football. That I don't want to be entertained like that.
Who's that?
I want to be entertained like Liverpool, Man City.
Yeah, but sometimes win first, entertain later. We've fallen so far now. We just want to win.
I feel like this reminds me of
resulting in play ball. You know,
this reminds me of when Liverpool got Roy Hodgson.
I can't understand why we can't have it all, like Liverpool, Man City, and all that stuff. Why have we only got? It's like the Arsenal way, like everyone says. We can only do one thing at a time. So we need to get a manager in to sort our defence out, and that's it. That's all we can concentrate on at the moment. And then we need a manager to get the defence and the midfield sorted out. And then we need a manager to get the defence, the midfield, and the strikers sorted out. Why can't we get a manager in that will sort everything all out at once? I don't understand it. And we'll play great football.
It's not realistic. We're getting too greedy. We just want to win first. After we win first, then we can think about the beautiful game as an art, as Wenger would say.
Right. You're saying about Chris Wilder and the likes of Sean Dyche. They're defensive. See, with all due respect, they're at clubs where they have to be.
Well,
do you know what I'm saying? Give them a chance at a bigger club. See what they can do.
Yeah, but I feel like if they ever came into Arsenal,
give them a chance. Why not give Arteta a chance? I don't understand it.
No, but I feel like if Sean Dyche or Chris Wilder,
they're in the job.
Exactly. They're actually managers.
City got billions and billions, right? These managers have done it on but Sean Dyche especially.
Guys,
right? Look what he's doing at Burnley. Right? They're never going to win anything. There's certain guys
that are supposed to be at certain levels. Like Roy Hodgson was at Liverpool. He was never going to make it at that level. He's back at Palace. Now he's at his level. He's comfortable. There's a comfort level for certain managers. And maybe some of these guys would never make it at Arsenal, obviously.
I totally agree here with Sonny. What's the point of winning if it's too shit to watch it? Totally agree.
Because it's a platform to build on, right? If you have a manager that comes in, or if Unai Emery would just sit down and say, right, this is what we're going to do, right? We're going to just go back to a 4-4-2, a flat back 4. This is what we're going to do. We might lose a couple of games, but you know what? Let's have a platform to build on. Let's have something that's solid, something that the players can kind of buy into. They know where their positions are. They know what's expected of them. And then hopefully from there, we can grind out results. Once we start grinding out results and everybody's got a bit of confidence back, then we can start adding a bit of flair and then we can start winning pretty. But
that comes later, Till. That's what I'm saying. But we need to learn how to battle, right? We can entertain and do all that later, right? The first thing we need to sort out is our defence and the mentality. Players in there who work hard, right? I don't care if we win 1-0. We need to get back to a standard.
If you're going to change tactics 3 times in a game, who's going to buy into that? Who's buying into that shit?
Yeah.
Tierney played 3 different positions in one game. He started off as a left winger, and then he became a left back. Then he became a central defender.
It's no good. Stick with a formation, whether it's 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2. Even if we lose a couple of games, but stick to something, build a little bit of confidence, and let's take it from there.
Listen, going back to the question earlier, like someone said, when they said, what can we do in January that will change everything? For me, what will change everything is that we need 11 players on the pitch that are going to run for 95 minutes. That's what we need. We need players like, I know that I don't really like them, don't get me wrong. You've got the James Milner, the Hendersons, and Liverpool and things like that. But when you watch them, they run. Their engines are unbelievable. Their engines are unbelievable. They run for 95 minutes, and that's exactly what I would say to my players. From the minute that ball kicks off to when the whistle goes at the end, I want you running for me and defending.
But the difference is,
it's not about running.
When they run, they know that when they make these runs, someone's going to cover for them. They know what they're doing. They're organised. They know why they're running. Our players don't have a fucking clue at the minute. They're scared to do certain things because they don't know whether they're going to leave the back in the
That's down to the manager.
Sorry?
That's down to the manager.
Exactly.
Listen,
everything
guys.
that we're saying, all the problems that we're saying, ultimately, it comes down to the manager. I don't care what anyone. I know the players are not playing for him on whatever, and you can go all through that and what players are doing well. But at the end of the day, the manager is telling the players what to do. And if he don't like the players because they're not doing that, like I said at the beginning of the program, then don't play them in the first place. It's
So but do we
We're
have
not
11
enjoying this no more?
to do that for us right now? I don't think so. We have Ozil, lazy. We have Pepe, doesn't like to track back.
He's not lazy. You can't say that African dude. He's not lazy. He's
okay,
not
but he doesn't do the running that you're talking about, doing the defensive work, putting in 100%.
In that last game, if it weren't for him with his feeding these balls through to the attackers to try and score goals, then we wouldn't have had no attacks.
I disagree. He was putting his hands up. His passing was atrocious. He couldn't control the ball. I mean, for a world-class player, not enough, man. Not enough. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure if we had...
I would like to see you play 90 minutes every week with no other players. No, listen to me. You're not listening to me. I'd like to see you play the 13 or 14 games that we've played this season by yourself, because that's what's happening on the pitch. It's not a team. It's at the moment with Arsenal. They're not playing as a team because no one knows who's playing next to them every week. No one knows the fucking tactics they're playing every week. No one knows how to defend. No one knows if to go forward. You're playing on your own. This is what the problem is.
11 strangers out there. It's 11 strangers.
It's been years. It's not like it's their first game. It doesn't matter if the player next to you isn't playing every game. I'm sorry, you're a professional football player. You do as you're told, or you do from what you've learned as a kid. You've been training before you came to Arsenal. You were in other clubs. So it doesn't matter whether you're playing as a team or not.
Let me ask you a question, right? If they was all on pay-as-you-play contracts, right, meaning if they play crap, they don't get as much as they do, do you honestly think they'd be playing like they are now? They'd be putting the shift in every single game. But they accept their money every Friday, so you play.
The question is, we want the manager out. I would say that probably looking at it, most of the players probably want the manager out. So why are we moaning about them not playing? Because if they don't play, the manager gets bad results and then the manager will be gone. Maybe that's the thinking of it. Maybe that's the thinking of it. Maybe they want him gone. They don't want to.
Where's the personal pride, though? Right? Their wives and young kids are watching at the game. Where's the pride?
But then what happens? But then what happens? I hear what you're saying.
They come Arsenal, but you can't they come here, they forgot how to kick a ball.
You can't have it both ways.
Come on.
Yeah, but you can't have it both ways, right? Because then what happens is, we start nicking draws where we should have got wins, and then that gives the board to say, well, we got a draw, we can keep the manager in for another week. We can keep the manager in for another week.
Right, if that's the case, right, and they're not playing for him, tell the fans that, right, so that we haven't got to spend money going all the way to the game.
That's
what you want to do, fine.
As fans, we don't care no more. There's a game on Thursday. We haven't mentioned it once. Like, we don't care anymore. Let's be honest. We don't care. That goal went in. Terry, you were in the Emirates. No one cared when Lacazette scored. They didn't even cheer. On TV, I was shocked.
He embarrassed himself, the kid. He was embarrassed himself that he scored at 96th minute.
Yeah.
He didn't care. Why are we here on a podcast doing this?
Well,
no, I don't mean we don't care in that sense. I mean, like, we're so disconnected that we know what's coming. We know what's coming. It's so bad. This is worse than anything under Wenger. Let's be honest.
If for some magical reason we started going on a winning run, let's say we played the next game and we won 2-0. And then the game after that, we sneaked to win at Norwich, we won that, say 2-1. And we still looked a little bit shaky, but we started to win a few games. Would you still want the manager to be gone, or would you start thinking, well, hold on a minute, maybe he's turning it around?
He's not good enough. He's not good enough.
Terry,
he has to be gone.
You still want him gone? Decent.
Yeah, he's some of the things he's done for me are unforgivable. So for that, he's got to go.
Kid,
let me give you an example. This is basically
hold on.
This is a temporary manager. He's done. He's a temp right now. He's not permanent. He's a temp. He's temp until they find a replacement. He's gone.
Sorry?
If he starts
gone.
having a bit of a winning run,
No matter what, he's gone.
Do you want him in or out still?
No matter what, he's gone.
Happier, but I still want him out
Then
because
maybe the players feel that way, and that's why they're not playing for it.
Exactly. I agree, Stan. I agree.
agree.
Listen, quickly, right? Just two quick things, and then we'll leave this and we'll go on to a quick preview of the Thursday game, right? A lot of people have been asking, Pochettino, would you take him? Diesel, yes, no?
No.
The kid?
Yes.
African Gooner?
definitely, but I don't think he would come.
Stan?
No.
I personally would say yes, because I'd rather, as I keep saying, I'd have anybody else in than Emery. I just want Emery gone.
But Terry, that's dangerous, right? You boys, right? Don't forget, don't get in that mindset, right? Wenger, when Wenger was it was that bad. We would have taken anyone, and it's done us no favours, right? I know we need change, but don't forget, don't have that mindset of anyone will do, because it's dangerous.
You're right. But my whole thing about Poch is he built Tottenham to what they are, even though we don't want to admit it. He did build them from the ground up, and I feel like he could, with the players we have at the level that they are right now, he could develop them into better players.
I rate him. It's not because I think he's crap. I actually do think he's a good manager. I just think enough has gone on now. We need elite.
Yeah, that was my only reasoning, because I feel like Southampton and Spurs, he showed that he can develop teams.
I just wanted to mention to Blem and Ian. I'm sorry that I'm not an Ozil fanboy, but that's my opinion, and I'm not going to stick up for someone who I think is lazy.
I actually rate that.
Just quickly, then anyone Arsenal realist, everyone go and follow the Arsenal realist. Good man. Well,
I love the realist. Big up, man. Big up. I love him.
Just a quick one, right?
They're not going to give us
no quick one before we move on, right? Quickly, right? If Messi was playing for Arsenal now in these last 13 games, and he was like an Ozil, what excuses would you come up for him then?
We'd probably nick a win.
No. What excuses would you come up for Messi? Because he's a fantastic player. So I'm just wondering, if he was down in tools and not doing as he was told and not being this fantastic player, what would your excuses be for him then?
I think he has a professional pride, as we mentioned before. So I don't think he'd throw down the tools. I think he'd try to lift the team, and he'd show leadership, which is why he's one of the best players in the world.
Well,
are we playing the excuse game again?
2 seasons ago, Hazard 2 seasons ago had that terrible season, didn't he? Where all the players stopped playing for the manager. Yeah. Hazard, one of the best players in the world, valued at I don't know how much. He done fuck all that season.
Yeah.
Are we playing the excuse game again? Because we can play that game. I could think of 10 different excuses.
Yeah.
But the first excuse that everyone comes up with is AFTV. Let's blame AFTV, right? and let's blame Twitter, Arsenal Twitter, right? The realistic issue from the beginning has always been a defeatist mentality from the players this season. They seem like the moment they go down, there's a defeatist mentality. The only time all season I felt like the players actually said they're going to go out and win this game was when we went 10 men down against Aston Villa. That was the only game I felt like we actually cared about wanting to win.
That's a good commentary. You see what the Somali Flame is saying? Messi's mentality is way different than Ozil, and that's my point.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
We can't compare. We've been
stuck up for him. All you done was stuck up for him. You didn't come up for an excuse for him.
You won't have. He doesn't need any excuses because he's one of the world's best.
You're telling me Messi on his own would have the other 10 players on his back and would go out and win?
You think Messi's on his own wouldn't score or actually do something like Sanchez? Wait. When Sanchez carried Arsenal 2-3 seasons ago, when no one else was doing crap, and Sanchez was pulling us through the mud, that is what Messi would do, because that's what world-class players do. And we have no world-class players at Arsenal. And I'm sorry, I'm not defending Ozil. He's not good enough for us.
No, I didn't defend him.
No, there is no excuse for Ozil anymore. He's been playing 3 games, and what has he done? I'm sorry. He ran a little bit. Okay, boo-hoo. But he didn't do anything. He didn't assist anything. He didn't make any progressive passes. He didn't bring anything to
create the first goal. Come on, African Gooner. You can give him that.
Yeah, I mean, African Gooner.
You're kind of harsh.
African Gooner, thank you so much for doing my job for me this evening. I'm just sitting back and listening.
Right, listen, we've gone over an hour now.
I don't hate him. I just want the best for Arsenal, and I don't think he is the best for Arsenal at the moment. I think
I love your passion, man.
Right, we're going over an hour now, so let's quickly get on to the preview of Thursday. We're playing Frankfurt at home. It's going to be a whopping record attendance of probably about 15,000. I'm seeing on Twitter. So, what's our thoughts?
Can I say one thing? Earlier, Diesel, I didn't mean that we don't care as a fan base that we're playing on Thursday. I meant that our emotions, we are so drained and we're so tired that it's like, do we really want to like get more emotionally invested in another game?
I'm so glad you explained that, because I'm sitting and I'm so upset.
Yeah,
right, so I'm glad you explained it.
I can tell on your face. I can tell on your face. That's what I mean.
No, I'm joking. I'm
like we're just a perfect way to explain this. We're sick and tired to the point where it's like, why get emotional?
Diesel, can I just say, Sunny TV does offer cancelling if your feelings have been hurt afterwards. Okay?
Yeah, and Sunny has KSI dolls. And Diesel, Sunny has KSI dolls for anyone who needs them.
I think what
I'm in the market for one of them.
Thursday night, let's go. Come on.
I was just saying, I think what the kid's saying is that, and I feel the same, it's very apathetic watching Arsenal at the moment. I mean, I don't know if I can be bothered going down the pub at 7 o'clock in the morning when I can just watch it on my sofa, save a bit of cash. That's how I feel about it, very apathetic. I still want to watch the games, but I don't want to make the kind of effort that I usually do, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like if I had a season ticket, I probably wouldn't be going to games and spending the money in and around.
You know, I said exactly the same to Diesel and the kid earlier on. Yeah. And that is, the thing is for me, is that from now on, I'm not going to all these rubbish games because obviously there's no point. What's the point? What's the point of me giving up my whole day, going down there for then 2 o'clock or an hour before kickoff, whenever it is, to be disappointed and fucking upset that the team lineup is not what I want it to be. And it doesn't matter even if he picks the best team, to be honest, because the way he plays and sets up, it doesn't matter anymore. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. I'm going to go because I still think, I don't know why, I've just got a really bad feeling he's still going to be here until January. I don't know why. You know what I mean? I've just got that feeling. I don't know why, right? So the only games that I'm going to go to now is I'm going to go to the Chelsea game. I think it's at home, innit? And the Man City game at home?
Man City, yeah.
I'm going to go to them because I hope we're going to get annihilated. To push him.
You're going to go to Man United
to get January? Even more. Because
you're going to go to Man United?
Sorry?
You're going to go to Man United?
Is that which one? Which two games are at home? I can't remember.
Man United's at home.
Yeah.
Chelsea is at the Bridge, I think. And
we got them three. We got them 3 games out of 4 over Christmas. 2 of them are at home. I'm going to go to them 2 games and hope that if Emery's still there, that we get annihilated just to get rid of him because it's a joke now. It's an absolute joke that this board and that he's still got a job.
So, Terry, for me on Thursday, I'm kind of a little bit excited to watch against Frankfurt because I think Martinelli is definitely going to start. Emery has no choice now but to start him. That's when he starts him. And I think he's a superstar, so I'm excited to see him. And I think the young players put a better performance usually than the Prem performance. So I'm looking forward to finally perhaps getting a win on Thursday because it's been weeks. It's been 7 weeks, I think, since we won a game.
50
so,
days, I think it is.
One statement. Frankfurt is actually in worse form than us. They have played the last 3 games. They have conceded 5 goals and scored 1.
Okay,
They've lost all 3.
The last time you said that was Southampton.
I know. I just wanted to put it out there. I just wanted to put good juju out there. You know what I mean?
We've become that team when if our opponents are going through a bad run and they're not having good football, they look at the fixture list and see the next games against Arsenal, they probably puts a smile on their face and they think,
of course it does.
You know, this will give us a chance to reset, you know, get a couple of points.
Right? Southampton, right? Have you seen what James Ward-Prowse has come out with, right? What they're mad at that Hasenhüttl, yeah? Oh, they're an Arsenal cunt. They were like this. Oh, you know. And then after the game, James Ward-Prowse, right? You got him say, right? They didn't want to sit on a 2-1. They kept coming for a 3rd goal.
That's so embarrassing.
I mean, that says it all, doesn't it? That says it all. Yeah. That's an insult. Come to our patch and mug us off like that. Come on.
Yeah.
Guys, Frankfurt, their last 4 games, they destroyed Bayern. They lost. So it's like, it's just scripted for them to come to the Emirates and beat us 2-1 or something like that.
It is scripted. It's always that's.
Well, maybe that's been the manager's saving grace, that we have kind of been able to keep some kind of an intact record at home. But if these bad results now start sort of affecting home form as well, then that might fucking kick the board into some kind of action as well.
Technically, we're undefeated at home.
Claude, you're absolutely right. We made Southampton into Atletico Madrid. We definitely did, mate.
Yeah,
we did.
Damn.
So coming in, score predictions for Thursday. Score prediction for Thursday. Go on.
3-1 for me. Martinelli definitely going to score again, and perhaps Pepe. Pepe with 1. 2 for Martinelli and 1 for Pepe. That's my prediction. We're going to concede, obviously.
I'll go with 3-2.
Oh,
I think we'll win, but I think it's going to be tight.
Yeah, I was going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
Diesel?
No, I think it'd be a draw. I think it'd be 1-1. 1-1.
They might not play their best players though.
I think.
Yeah, but you know what? Anyone who's playing Arsenal are going to be so up for it. You know, I just. Yeah, I've got no.
I hear you.
Hope.
That's the best answer. That's the best answer. Empty seats is my prediction. Yep, we totally agree, mate. I'm going to go same as Stan. I think it's either going to be a really hard fought 2-2, or we might just nick it in the end, 3-2. But I mean, you know, and then obviously we've got Norwich the weekend, who are going to, I think, absolutely annihilate us. I really do. I think they're bottom of the league, and they Norwich now.
Guys, put Pookie in your fantasy Premier League, because you know he's going to score against us a hat trick.
Pookie.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Form against Arsenal. That's just written in the stars.
And Cantwell.
We're going to go there. He's going to set up not to lose. That's what he's going to do. He'll probably play 5 at the back, which it'll be 7 at the back, with our 2 midfielders playing sweepers, basically. And our front 3 will be sitting on the halfway line with probably 1 or 2 chances throughout the game. And we're annihilated.
These guys are being drilled week in, week out, being told that your opponent is so good, to the point where they're almost fearful of their opponents. It's ridiculous.
I said it before and I'll say it again. For some reason, in the world of sport, I don't know why, but if you're an individual, like you're playing in darts, snooker, wrestling, boxing, whatever, you can turn around to someone and you can say, I'm going to annihilate you. I'm going to put you on the floor. You're rubbish. You're going down and all that rubbish. But in team sport, we have to be so polite. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? We're playing like Southampton, who's second from bottom. We should be saying that, you know what I mean? We're going to go out there and absolutely cane them at home 3 or 4-0.
That's just football, mate. In American football or basketball, guys will come out straight up, be like, "Yo, we're just better than these guys." It's just the respect of football, how they act. But guys, what's your prediction for performance? We know what you think the result's going to be, but performance-wise, do you think it's going to be better than in the league at least?
Has to be. I mean, the young players are coming out. We see how much positivity they play with, no fear. I think they're not drilled as much tactically, so it's more free flowing. I mean, and that's my opinion. When I watch it, it seems that we're more creative. And Martinelli just, you know, he's hungry. I don't know if you guys watched that interview he had with David Luiz. When David Luiz asked him what is his favorite goal for Arsenal at the moment, he said, "My favorite goal is going to be on Saturday against Southampton when I score." I mean, that's an incredible answer from a kid. I mean, that for me just epitomizes what a superstar he's going to be. And I really love to see that. I mean, you can tell he loves Arsenal, and he's taking his chance at the moment. And he's really grounded. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Martinelli smashing a goal on Thursday.
I like that kid, man.
I don't think he's far off of getting a hat trick. There's been a couple of times he's got and almost got the third one.
Very close. And he missed some really easy sitters, but we can forgive him for that because, you know, he's scoring. I mean, top teenage goal scorer in world football, and you're playing in Arsenal when Arsenal's drowning right now in the deep end. So that's amazing.
And the manager doesn't trust in you to come in when we're losing 2-1.
I mean, guys, he came on the 81st minute against Southampton, and he provided an assist within 10 minutes. I mean, what more does this kid need to do? Seriously,
No, but look at it in comparison to last year. Last year, he had more faith in Iwobi and Mkhitaryan than he does in these guys that we have this year. He would have changed it up at halftime last year.
I think, as we all said, Emery he's a scared manager. Either he's wanting to be sacked and he wants to take that payout because he's not going to walk. Obviously, why would you walk when you can take out that payout? Or he's just out of ideas and he's given up. So he's not willing to go out all.
And do you know what, right? I'm going to say for all these Aubameyang lovers out there, right? Martinelli is an up-and-coming striker, right? Who uses his pace to press, right? He's a busybody, right? He's played in games where he doesn't always score, right? But he puts a right shift in. Now, what my argument is, how can he do that and yet an established, apparently world-class striker like Aubameyang can't? Answer me that. But he gets a pass because he's friends with AFTV and he's loved, and that's when does he ever get subbed? He doesn't offer anything. If he's not playing well, get him off. Martinelli on.
Can I just say,
it's all about names, isn't it?
AFC Charlie, I totally agree with you. And he's put, I am him if Xhaka is involved.
I'm turning off my TV if I see Xhaka coming on.
That would be one of his. Well, that'd be another one of his biggest mistakes if he ever played for Arsenal again.
Do we really think that's going to happen then? Do we think Xhaka's coming back to the team?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
I was thinking the penny dropped for me the other day, right? The reason why Xhaka has been in this team all this time is because without Xhaka, the players won't respond to him, won't listen to him. Xhaka has been his little bitch boy that keeps everyone on a lead, basically. And that is why he made him captain and all. If you look at it and break it all down, that is why Xhaka has been made our captain. It's because without Xhaka, Emery wouldn't have even got to this far, I don't think. He was his yes boy.
That's a good theory. I think that's probably the reason why he actually got it. Actually, that's a really good point. I never thought about it that way before. He must.
You don't believe he was voted in by the players. You don't believe he was voted in by the players. You think
no way.
Why tell us that? If we just chose Xhaka, why tell us that there was a vote and the players chose him? What was the point in that?
Because our club is all nicey. You know what it's like. You know what I mean? We've got to be nice to everyone. We're not allowed to say that there's any rifts in the backroom staff or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's just rubbish. But when you watch the shows on Sky Sports, all them the debate show. What's it called? Is it the debate show? It's called the one with the debate panel. Yeah. I watch that. I watch that quite a lot every week. And everyone that's been on there, every ex-manager, every ex-player, they all say, how on earth can a manager let the players pick their captain?
Yeah, exactly.
Man City do it.
Well,
so Stan, sorry guys, Stan, I just had a question regarding to that. I mean, remember when Ozil and Sanchez used to have this amazing connection? It's because they realized that they're world-class players and they're on another level. So my question is, I'm sure all these players that play with Xhaka understand his weaknesses and know that he's made the most passes that's led to or errors that's led to a goal. So why would they have any confidence to make him the captain? I mean, as a football player, you see other football players and you rate them on the field. When you play with people, you know who's shit and you know who's good and you know who you can trust on the field, right? It's just natural. So I'm definitely sure that they didn't vote for him, because if they did, then they're all crap, as bad as him. And that's very alarming. So that would be my point to that.
And now we're hearing that it was the club psychiatrist that actually ordered Emery to get the 5 captains. So we're now being told what to do by a psychiatrist, apparently. It's farcical. It's just farcical.
Mark Noble is a great example of a great captain, Michael Thomas, in the chat. Like, Mark Noble, been a captain for West Ham and a legend. That guy plays with his heart. Much better captain than Josh
Milner, Henderson.
Listen, the video I tweeted out the other day with Tony Adams and his reaction of the Southampton game. If anyone ain't seen it, go and watch it, because honestly, it just sums up what an Arsenal fan means. And I wish to God that we still had a player like him as my captain and in our defence. I totally wish to God that he was still available for us to play him in our team, because he knows.
Why don't we get him as manager, Terry? Like, I had a thought that, I saw that video and he's super. He's Mr. Arsenal. So why aren't we going for him? I'd take him over Arteta. or I take Patrick Vieira right now. Why are we going?
Right, African Gurney, right? On the previous podcast, right, I mentioned Tony Adams, right, about bringing him back and getting him not as manager, but involved in the backroom staff.
Okay,
Quite a few comments where people saying, "Oh, yeah, but he's everywhere he's been as a coach, he's flopped," and I'm like, "So
No.
Get him
back home.
Get him in as like a David Dean type guy who's just there to put his input. Yeah.
Like, he do it for free. He loves the club. He do it for free. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
They wouldn't take O'Leary back, would they? I think they're kind of like the Rows and the Edus, that camp. They don't want any of that kind of interference, do they?
No, but
like, you know, they really pushed to get him involved, and you think that linked to have, right, you know, and another voice, someone that's actually been out on the pitch for the club, but they didn't want to know.
Yeah. But they brought Edu in, so what's the difference?
Right, boys, we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes now, so we're gonna finish this podcast. We're gonna have our last final thoughts, but we've got 138 viewers. Everyone, please hit the like button and subscribe, and keep sharing to make this show carry on and be a great success. Everyone in the comments, thanks a lot. Right, Diesel, let's sum up what you think. Your final thoughts on I don't know what your final thoughts on how you think the rest of the week's going to go. If you're still going to be here, and I don't know, whatever you think, mate. Go on.
Crack a smile, mate.
It's hard.
Thank you.
No, listen, it's. I think I've got. Listen, I don't care. I tweeted this earlier on. You know, the board for me are done now. You know, there is. I think they're the problem. I think that. For everyone watching this, just please believe me when I say this, right? Emery's got to go, but this is bigger than Emery. I'm telling you now, it happened when Wenger. There is something, I don't know what it is, but there is something seriously not right at this club, right? The mentality isn't there. And I don't think it's a case of a new manager comes in, all of a sudden, right, these players become ballers. These players, in my view, a lot of them are not good enough. Doesn't matter who comes in, they're not good enough. That's my view. I think Emery will be here another 2 or 3 games. I think it will get that toxic that they will be forced to change. But they will change him because their hand's been forced rather than they want to do it. That's what pisses me off. But that's my view.
The kid?
Mm-hmm.
We cannot... I understand that we want to blame the players, but right now, things are so bad tactically from the manager's point of view, where he's... For example, Tierney started the game as a left wing back. And then he took him to a left back. Then by the end of the game, he had him as left center back in a 3 when he gave the penalty. When you're confusing a player that much and you're confusing all through the whole squad, all 11 of them are getting chopped and changed. The only person who's getting consistently played in the same position is Leno, because you can't put Leno in a different position, right? Let's be realistic, right? So that right there, just changing the manager, you can see how that would improve the players. And I feel like these players under a new manager are a top 4 team and easily are a top 4 club with the new manager, because the players.
It's not just talent, it's mentality. How do you teach that?
No. But my point is, things can, a different person can change a lot when it comes to the style of play, how direct you play, the possession that we have. Because think about it, this is the most shots we've faced in a decade. This is the worst form we've had in a decade. We concede possession, and his whole game plan is to concede possession and to let them take shots that are inefficient. But if you're giving up 21 shots and 20 of them are inefficient, eventually, it's a numbers game. Eventually, one of them are going to go in.
The kid, hold on for 2 seconds. We've got 133 people watching live. There's only 59 likes. Come on, guys. Just hit the like button. It takes a second to do. Sorry, the kid. Carry on.
Come on, guys. Smash that like button. Like, let's do the YouTube thing.
Son, he's like a copper, isn't it? He's never off duty, eh?
Yeah. You guys hear what I'm saying? When it comes to, I get the players are not performing. I get that they're confused. I get this. But at the end of the day, when you keep hearing it from one ear, it eventually keeps going out the other. And it doesn't matter what you hear, but it's just muffled noise.
Look, one of your fans here, kid. Look, Simon,
why does the kid answer the question? Why does the kid answer a question with a question?
I was clear and concise. I said it's Emery. Emery's the problem. I gave 3 reasons why he's the problem, and I moved on. That's it. Let's keep it moving.
African Gooner.
Yeah, guys. So for me, I mean, I waited 2 weeks for this game on this weekend, and it was, oh man, it hurts. It really hurts, and I'm so emotionally invested into Arsenal that it affects my daily life. So for me, Emery has to go. I see us playing much better on Thursday for sure. I think we could win potentially 2-1, 3-1 if we play well with the kid. I think against Norwich, it might be a draw or it might be a definite loss with Pukki in form. But I think for me, the goal for this week is on social media and elsewhere for this We Care to You movement to start gaining traction. I think now it comes to a point where we need to take some action into our own hands and do whatever we can as Arsenal fans, whether you live in London or you live anywhere else in the world, because it doesn't seem to me that the board is gonna do anything. And you're right, Terry. I think at the end of the season, Xhaka is gonna be captain. I mean, Xhaka is gonna be manager.
Studio Tech, if you want to come on the show, mate, it's no problem. Just drop me a DM on Twitter, or I'll put my email address in the comments now.
We saved you a spot today. You didn't show up.
I think Emery's probably got till the West Ham game. I think the board will react. I think some of the tweets that they put out about the game, I think they're seeing that there's empty seats. I don't think Emery's got until the end of the season. I think if things get worse, and they are going to get worse, he's got to the West Ham game. And for this week, I'm really looking forward to the game on Thursday. I really hope it's going to be 90 minutes. A good 90 minutes that's going to help me forget about all the other shit, and we get something out of it. And then after the end of the game, we can go back to the miserable and the misery of looking forward to the Norwich game.
Right, yeah. For me, no wankers allowed.
What did that guy just say? I'm here to get people views.
Tory,
Ignore the comments, man. Speak from the heart. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Listen, for me, I'm just
big respect to Claude. I love that guy, man.
This season for me, I must admit, being an Arsenal fan, it's broke. I think it's broke me, to be honest. For the first time in my life, it's broke me. I was saying to the kid earlier, just before we come on, I watch. Normally, I watch every game, any game, Champions League, Europa League, any game. Doesn't matter who it was. But this year, I haven't watched any. And that's simply down to the fact of our club and the way it's acting.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just so disappointed with our club right now. It's ridiculous. What on earth this board and the chairman's doing, leaving a manager to basically ruin us. Because in 2 games' time, if we don't get over 2 points, we're in relegation zone. We're in there. It's the truth. I'm not making it up. Just look at the table yourself. In the next 2 games, we could possibly be in relegation. And you still got the board saying they're backing this manager. And if they're not backing him, why are we still sitting here tonight debating when he's going to go? The Arsenal board need to stand up now. They need to seriously stand up, sack this manager and get... to be honest, I don't care who it is. I just want another manager in there. I want to see some little changes straight away. I want to be excited again. I want to be able to, I'm debating with myself, fighting with myself. Every game that comes up at home now for me to get there. I've never been like that. I've always wanted to go and watch Arsenal. Always wanted to take my kids, if there's a spare ticket, to go and take them and that.
Yeah.
Why the bloody hell do I want to do that now? Please tell me. And I want to make a statement now. Every Arsenal fan, let's stand together. Like I said, let's go to the ground, but let's stand outside. Let's not spend our money in the bars and buying food and their drink and their shirts and their scarves and everything. Let's take our own drinks. Let's take our own food. Let's have a party all together. Stand united. Let's show the board that we mean business. We're not just noise. We're not just going to throw our hard-earned cash away anymore.
Cash, time, and emotional investment, Terry.
Yeah, exactly.
There are a lot of times around the world. You wake up at whatever. I mean, I've missed job interviews to watch Arsenal games, so it's just a lot of investment into the club, and even fans who don't pay money are having enough. So we also need to stop watching and doing this on our part as well.
Do you know what?
I need you.
All joking aside, right? If
Tell you what, the
fans really did do that, if the fans really did unite and do that, 2 games max, I reckon, would be enough, right?
Exactly.
Right? They're lucky we're not Millwall, mate. 'Cause I'll tell you something, right? There'll be riots in that stadium, right? They're lucky we're a classy club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, there's, well, but yeah, 1 or 2 games, I reckon. But will it happen?
Well,
you know,
you look at our next run of league games. It's Norwich, Brighton, West Ham.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get anything out of them, he's got to be gone, right? Surely.
Yeah.
That's right. You and right after that.
Guys,
in these next 2 games, if we don't get maximum points, we're in a relegation fight. It's as simple need as that.
you guys always get mad when I say Shirley, but this time you won't be mad. Shirley has to be sacked by next week. Like, this can't go on.
Southampton was the final straw.
Yeah.
I can't understand.
Every game is the final straw because, I mean,
he's a coward. He's a coward. He's a coward. And I wanted to say one thing, Terry.
Yeah.
Fans getting on other fans' backs. People, we all support the club. We all care about the club. Stop fighting each other. We're all fans of the club. We all love the club. We all have one thing in common, which is that we like Arsenal Football Club. Support each other. Understand, fans should not be fighting each other. We should all be taking our frustrations out on the club and saying, you guys need to fix up.
That's it. Right. We're going to finish now, boys. I just want to say thank you to Diesel for coming on again.
Cheers, Tel. Nice one, mate.
And the kid, always a pleasure, boy.
Love you guys, man.
And the same to you, African Gooner.
If I may, Terry, I started my own channel right after I saw Sonny do this channel, and it was inspiring for me. So I'm looking to hit 100 subs by the end of this year. So I'd really appreciate that, guys. If you enjoy,
everyone go and subscribe to the African Gooner channel.
He does pre-match lineup reviews, everything. Go check him out. He's a real guy.
Stan, pleasure having you on again, mate, and all.
Thanks, Terry. And for all of those that are out there on Facebook as well, there is a Sunny TV Unfiltered Facebook page now. So get on there. Any gossip, any chat, start discussions. If you've got old photographs or pictures of old programs, get it all on there.
Everyone go and do that. I just want to say thank you to everyone in the comments. I hope I weren't that bad of a chat host. I don't think I've got that many names mixed up or wrong tonight, so it shouldn't be too bad. And if you didn't like me, then Sonny will be back in a couple of weeks anyway. So there you go. But, I just want to say thank you and see you soon.
Cheers, guys.
Yo, Diesel, I really pissed you off.